All right, we're back at you with another Wyatt Wednesday here. I'm David Still. Wyatt Aberchinsky's on the other end here. All right, so you've got the analytical side, the creative side come together. This is what makes your pedals what they are. But I'm curious, man, were you like a little math wizard and just like tabled it? Like I want to just major in English, or were you not good at math? And then full disclosure, as I won't let you talk as I go on my monologue here. Wyatt has a twin brother. I hope it's okay to share that. Who Wyatt claims is the real brains of the family. And I would say, well, he must just be flat out genius. Because
how much did he pay you to say that? How much did he pay you to say that? I'm going to get him for that.
You'll find out.
I'm going to get him. Oh boy. But yeah, no, I don't know. I was always that kid reading like full blown novels and like stuff my whole life. Ever since I was a baby, started off reading video games, playing Zelda in my dad's lap, and like he's like, "You gotta learn to read," So through video games, like I really like learned to read and get excited about learning, the process of discovery, this notion of discovery, which has translated into like the pedal stuff. And anytime I used to find like a new niche, just get obsessed with it, and I dive in until I got incredible at it. I was always big into like dinosaurs, archaeology, mythology, history, and science. So those really were formative for me growing up through grade school all the way up to college. I failed math several times in high school, whether it be a product of my environment or whatever, just teen brain, which probably is what happened, just tapered off, didn't really care about it. But I was always really, really strong in like chemistry and physics and really advanced, complex stuff. I don't know. My brain can just handle logic very well at a high volume. And so it wasn't until like way later in college, probably like 2 or 3 years in, I had to like go back and do math. And they put me in advanced courses, advanced math for no reason. Well, it's for a reason because I was in nursing courses, and obviously it was like dual science and dual math at the same time, taking measurements, practicals, chemistry and things like that, and microbiology, and then like weird algebraic stuff and statistics and all sorts of real life measurements in math, which was helpful. But I don't know, my teen brain turned off and my real brain turned on, and I started realizing and looking at math as like a problem to solve. Not to say I'm good at it, but there's something that clicked with me, and it was like, oh, I just want to solve this puzzle. I love Sudoku puzzles, and then I started doing like crazy Sudoku, and I'm so sorry for wasting your time, everybody. But anyways, eventually when I start like playing music, for example, my band we were like a progressive metalcore band or a progressive like death metal. I was playing 7, 8, and 9-string guitar, and everything we did was polyrhythmic and to odd time signatures. And I'm really, really good with patterns. So, and like just visual memorization. So that's how it started, dude. That's really where it started was the gent and the progressive metal and stuff, like big Dream Theater fan. And early prog, like Pink Floyd stuff, to like all the way up to, more modern metal and whatnot, Tesseract and stuff. Bands like that got me really into playing off time, and kind of like this duality or this dual nature of like syncopation, left hand doing one thing, my right hand's doing something. You can like take that back to Stu Ham or whoever you want to do, accredit that stuff too, but like playing extended strings and trying to do like a whole bunch of different things at one time. And then it became about patterns, and all our songs were like patterns, and we had like this weird breakdown that was just, just open notes on an 8-string with like just patterns, bop, 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 bop. And a lot of that really did translate into when I started getting into electronics, because my early years of amps, I'm so sorry, whoever I worked on their stuff. it was literally just muscle memory from like my dad showing me how to do a couple of things, and then he's like, "All right, you got the business. You're doing it. You're going off." And you know, a lot of it was visual memorization. Like when I was working at Guitar Center and things like that as a guitar tech, I didn't even know what the difference between like a capacitor and resistor was. It wasn't until I started like really digging deep and got in my own space that my dad started. He's like, "You got to start reading books, man, because it's awful. You know what you're doing is a hack job. You know, not quality wise, but like you're just flying by the seat of your pants." And while that's fine, you know, in its own right, I'm a big believer in like the studying, and so like all the reading and all the stuff, the patience that I had like in my youth, and I'm still young, you know, but came back to me that where it's like, oh, I can sit and my little autistic brain will focus on like something for like 4 hours. I'm very fixated on that stuff. Because I don't know, I developed some ADHD along the way, but you know what I mean? I do have that, you know, weird, I'm on the spectrum somewhere where I hyper fixate on stuff, and I won't leave for hours. You can't get me out of my seat just reading a book or solving a problem. And like now where I'm doing constant formulas for building and designing circuits, I'll sit there and obsess over filter formulas for like high pass, low pass, band pass, things I'm working on, gain calculations, well, like voltage division is easy and stuff. But when I'm working with like multiple op amps in one system, and I want to try and make sure that phasing and frequencies and everything match up, then I'm like, you know, screwing around. I still ask my dad for help once in a while, just for like, because he's like a robot with the formulas. So I'll get the formula and then sit there with my calculator and do stuff. And then he'll be like, "Oh, you know, there's an easier way to do this. You didn't have to do all the math." But something about it feels legitimate to me. It's tangible. It's correct. You know, it's exact. What I'm doing, I can safely say, is very precise. And I don't know. I don't know how many other guys out there are doing that. You know, I see a lot of boutique builders doing stuff and just kind of like plopping random components down because they're old, because they're new old stock. But, you know, are they really factoring in the tolerance and, you know, really working in what's happening there in that circuit? Or is it just because it looks cool?
Google will do a lot for you.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. And it's the, like my dad says, the school of YouTube is a really nasty kind of way to go about stuff. It's good for a quick reference, but when you're just getting quick information like that, that's why, you know, one day I'll bring in all my books and it will cover my whole apartment. But I have an extensive library underneath my workstation, my laptop and stuff. And even at the shop, it's just a pile of, you know, receiving tube manuals and weird amp manuals and everything you can think of from like the 50s and up, all the way to, you know, Ken Fisher's personal notes and whatnot, train wreck amps. So we have a lot of weird stuff. And so I like to like, I just rifle through this stuff whenever I get the itch to try something new. And you can learn from those and then kind of start your own quest. You know, you can pay homage to something and then start something brand new. And it may not work, you know, and the math isn't always correct, but you know, you're never far off, which is cool.